I'm Caitlin.
I'm Marley.
And I'm Rebekah.
And our topic is about climate change and global warming.
We chose this project because we thought climate change was a problem affecting us and our world.
We think the candidates should talk about this during the election because these are the people we are electing to represent our country.
If they don't stand against climate change, the country we are representing is a country of pollution.
The thing most people assume is that climate and weather are the same thing, but they're not. They are different. Weather is every day and climate is an average over a long period of time.
An easy way to think of it is as a batting average. A batter with a great batting average can only hit 6 out of the 10 pitches, but a player with a bad batting average can hit most or all of the pitches.
The average is like the climate, but that specific game is like the weather.
This shows the annual Arctic sea ice minimum from 1979 to 2014. At the end of every summer, the amount of sea ice reaches its minimum, leaving what is called the perennial ice cover. The area of perennial ice has been decreasing quickly since 1979.
While we can't say any single weather event is entirely caused by climate change, we've seen stronger storms, deeper droughts, longer wildfire seasons. Charleston and Miami now flood at high tide.
This video shows the effects on sea levels rising in different coastal regions. This shows up to 19.7 feet of water, although if ice sheets melt, sea levels could rise up to 23 feet.
But yet, for the most part, the temperatures have been flat for the last 16 to 17 years. The computer models did not predict that. And so I think what we're coming to recognition is the environment is not as sensitive to carbon dioxide as maybe many thought at first.
This shows changes in the concentration of carbon dioxide from 2002 to 2014. The yellow and red parts show higher concentrations of carbon dioxide. Blue and green parts indicate lower concentrations of carbon dioxide.
Pollution is one of the problems causing climate change. Factories pollute our atmosphere, especially from their smokestacks.
Cars are one of the main contributors to carbon dioxide emissions into our atmosphere. Carbon dioxide can also be emitted from natural processes such as volcanic eruptions or human activities such as deforestation and non-fuel efficient cars.
Fossil fuels include coal, natural gas, and oil. We use these in our everyday lives without realizing the harm they cause. We use fossil fuels for heating, fuel, and cooking.
Climate change is real, it is caused by human activity, and we have a moral responsibility to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy.
Along with fossil fuels, people also absent-mindedly pollute. This pollution caused by human activity affects polar bears too. This could eventually make polar bears extinct.
What people don't realize is that certain kinds of pollution warm the atmosphere. In other words, the temperatures are rising when they aren't supposed to, melting the ice in the poles.
Without the ice, the polar bears can't hunt for seals and other sea animals. Polar bears are now turning towards cannibalism, sometimes eating their offspring.
Heartbreaking picture of an emaciated polar bear has been circling social media. The pictures are incredibly sad, and they've even raised questions and even debates about what caused this. Polar bears have sort of been the poster child for climate change, but they're certainly not the only ones impacted. Many animal extinctions in the recent years and even decades have been linked directly to climate change.
This shows a man who is very passionate about climate change. He painted murals on icebergs, glaciers, and walls of bays. For the murals he painted on icebergs and glaciers, they melted in just 1 week. This shows how much climate change has an effect in the poles. What should the candidates do about climate change? One of the things the candidates should talk about during the election is how efficient we are with transportation. After all, the government is putting in a lot of bike lanes. Why not use them? Another option for fuel efficiency is electric cars. Although they are more expensive, they use less gasoline and reduce carbon emissions into our atmosphere.
Another thing we should focus on is getting rid of power plants that do more harm than good.
And so we need to put stricter regulations on them. We need to get rid of coal-fired power plants. But I'll tell you, the coal-fired power plant in my district is a heck of a lot better for the environment than the coal-fired power plants in China.
As you can see, climate change is affecting us, no matter what people believe causes it. Our message to the candidates who believe in climate change is if you believe in climate change, speak up now, before it gets too late. If we don't act now, there could be nothing left in our world.